Today we are going to do the Supersaturated Solution Lab. So the first thing we want to do is take our weighing boat, put it on our scale, and zero it off. Now we're going to add 10 grams sodium thiosulfate to the weighing boat. There is our 10 grams of sodium thiosulfate. It's a little over, but that's okay because this lab today is strictly qualitative. Now this lab's really finicky, so I need to add distilled water to this test tube, and I want to just kind of clean it out. So I'm rolling the test tube with the distilled water inside, just so that I can dissolve anything that from previous labs off the sidewalls of the glass. And I want to add 2 milliliters of distilled water. The pipette I'm using has graduation on the one side, so I can measure out 2 milliliters with the plastic pipette. So that's it. That's our 2 milliliters of water for this lab. I'm going to take our sodium thiosulfate and I'm just going to add a little bit at a time and dissolve it in that 2 milliliters of water. Now this is a really important observation for you to write down, but this test tube is starting to feel cold, so energy is being absorbed through the dissolution process. I'm going to keep adding small amounts until no more solid can be dissolved in that liquid, which it looks like we're getting close. Now no more solid can dissolve in my test tube, so I want to add the remaining solid. So now you can see that I have way more solid than can be dissolved in that 2 milliliters of water. So we're going to heat this solution up just so that I can get all that extra solute to dissolve. Now I don't want the solution to boil, so I'm just gently heating it. I'm passing it through the flames so that the solution just heats up and I'm not actually boiling any of the liquid. So as you can see now that my solution is completely clear, so all the solute has dissolved. So right now the solution is unsaturated. It could hold more solute at this higher temperature. So now to supersaturate the solution, we are going to cool it down. So I'm going to put it in a water bath of room temperature water and we are going to wait a while. All right, so I've been letting this cool down for about 5 minutes or so, and it's still not quite at room temperature. So now it's cooled down quite a bit, so there's my solution. And I want to add just a couple crystals of the solute so that crystallization can start. So this happens pretty quickly, so pay really close attention. So you can see right there that that piece of solute is now recrystallizing the excess solute that was in the solution. So that solution was supersaturated. It was holding more solute than it should be held by the water at that lower temperature. Now something else to take note of in your observation section is that this test tube is pretty hot. So the crystallization process releases a lot of heat. So now that we have finished the lab, you need to answer the questions on the back of the lab handout. So make sure that you use complete sentences and get your ideas across of what you're trying to say. And also make sure that you have observations written on the front, because that is the data that we collected today. We only collected observations, qualitative data.